Alright, hello, day 7. Ooh, that's 1 week that I've managed to stick to something I wanted to do. Yeah, much more to come. So, today, not much has changed. Besides the fact that I started on TikTok and somehow got several thousand views and likes, which is strange. And I'm really trying hard to set myself up to not be disappointed the next time I post something there. Because it's really tempting to just let that one video there and not post anything else, just so I feel like I'm doing 100% well, right? No. So there's going to be plenty of posting, plenty of bad posts as well. I'm pretty sure about that, by the way. But the thing is that today I've talked with a colleague who said that she watched my videos. Hi. And what I wanted to mention is that we talked a bit about how, like, I'm lucky and she was envious that I could get to do this, and that I had the will to actually do it. I was brave enough, but it's not like I suddenly decided that I'm going to do it. I decided that I want to try it a few months ago, probably, and the only reason is that I'm actually here is because I've spent the last few months actively researching on how to think about things differently. So it's not like I suddenly decided that, I'm just gonna stop doing corporate. I've done a lot of research actually on how I'm going to do it, like where the money's going to come from, if it's a viable business, if people are actually interested in it, if it's something that I can learn reasonably well without paying a lot of money, if I can do it without really expensive equipment, because a decade ago this would have been impossible without paying like 3,000 euros at least for a mic and a room and everything else. Nowadays I'm doing it on a Blue Yeti, which is $200, I think, or 250 it cost me, and not much else really. I'm recording in the closet, so that's about it. But it was also about the mentality that I was going to go into it with. I'm going into it now with the reasoning that if I fail, I'm just going to learn from it and do it again. A few months ago, I was really, like, my sister really likes the term, I was in a fixed mindset. I don't like that terminology at all, but it describes really well what the gist of it is. It's that people tend to think that once something is done, like, they can change it. The fact that they're not good at something, the fact that something takes them a lot more time, or they're not good at it now. They just don't have the talent, right? So they attribute a lot of stuff to talent. But I think that the thing is, the whole thing about a fixed and growth mindset for me is a lot of people mistake intelligence and wisdom, which are like very gamey words, because a lot of tabletop games like D&D use these words. But I think the difference is that intelligence is something that is given to you, and the main thing it changes is how fast you learn stuff, how fast you understand the connections and the patterns and stuff like that. Whereas wisdom is something that you just have to gain over time. That's how I'd call it. And the fact is that success comes from a lot of wisdom. Intelligence helps because you get that wisdom faster. If you want it in game terms, you level up a skill, the wisdom faster because you have higher intelligence. But that doesn't mean you can't get there. It's just going to take you a lot longer than someone else. But the key point is to not compare yourself to someone else, but compare yourself to yourself, because that's what you're doing. You're improving. And the fact that you're not improving as fast as someone else, because they've been given good intelligence, so they get it, that doesn't mean you can't get it. It just means you'll have to be a lot more patient. And the thing is, for intelligent people, I think it's a lot more easier to fall into the fixed mindset, because I want to say this right. I think intelligent people have had it a lot easier because they didn't have to have a lot of patience. It just came quickly enough to where they didn't really have to move a finger. But for people who don't learn as fast, who are not that good at recognizing the patterns, it's not going to help them. They have to put the time and effort in, so they're comfortable with the long run, which is essentially more of the same. Whereas people who are used to getting it quickly and getting everything and just understanding it suddenly come to the point where it's not good enough. Like, that thing won't help when you're talking about years and a ton of practice and dozens or hundreds of videos, or producing something, or projects, or whatever it is. People just don't have the patience because they're too intelligent for their own good. Weirdly enough, right? How weird does that sound? But I think it hurts them because they've never had to taste the fact that they're just gonna have to work. And I think of myself lucky enough to be good at learning and understanding patterns really quickly, and that comes to pretty much anything. But the fact is that I've really suffered from this myself. That's where that theory came from, where I had real struggles with sticking to something. And once my talent was not good enough for something and I wasn't improving as quickly anymore, I just stopped doing it because I thought that, oh, that's about it. I can move on to the next thing, where I will suddenly be learning at lightning speed compared to everyone else, because I was comparing myself to everyone else. And the moment it stopped, I just said, well, screw this. That's about it. That's all I can get. But that's so goddamn false. The more effort you put into it, the more you'll see it. It's just, it really requires time and mindfulness and thinking about what your reaction is to everything, until you figure out that, okay, so maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm getting too frustrated too quickly. And only after you realize that can you self-diagnose and start working on it. And that took me half a year. And that's why now I feel like I'm ready, because I no longer really feel like I have to compare myself to everybody else. And when I saw that my first post on TikTok got a lot of views, I got nervous because I knew that I was going to compare myself to myself. So the next post will not be as good. Right? I never got really that hype. I was checking it. I was checking that a lot of people liked it, but I was more curious. At least I keep telling myself that that I was more curious in what people liked about it, so I can replicate that instead of just saying, "Oh, my post is better than everyone else's, so I must be good at this." Like, no, I'm just happy it worked. I'm happy people liked it. I'm getting off on the tangent. The point is, it takes a lot of effort to switch your thinking, and although you may have something that's given to you, like the pace at which you can learn new things, overall it's the patience that you develop that will help you much, much more. Because even if you're slower, all you have to do is outlast the other guys. And good news, the other guys are not going to be patient if they're quicker than you, because they've never had to work at anything hard enough. So if you just stick to it for long enough, you're probably going to have a good chance of beating them. So, good luck. Hope it helps.